Hi, how's it going? I'm doing a video because I'm bored out of my effing mind. It's like 4:30 in the morning and I'm just laying here. Sucks. Because that means I'm gonna sleep all goddamn day tomorrow. Trying to be a dayturnalist, a diurnalist. Anyways, I wanted to do a video. I figured because I'm starting to sober up. I quit smoking reefer yesterday. And so my brain is starting to come back together and stuff. Plus, I'm getting exercise, the blood into the brain, more thinking. So, do a video. I really wanted to do a video, this one video, because I'm a paleontologist now. For the last 9 weeks, I've been doing paleontology hardcore up until just a few days ago. And some people like to say that we don't come from monkeys, but we do come from the monkeys. I was teaching English in Korea, in Seoul, Korea, back in '98, and I had this really stupid fundamentalist Christian, really boring, stupid fundamentalist Christian Korean girl who was half Korean, half Canadian, and and she was my co-teacher, and then there was this other dude, American guy who was working there. The American guy said that he overheard her talking trash about me to some other chick, being like, he said he was telling the kids that we come from monkeys, and they're all laughing at me and stuff. But I've heard a lot of scientists try to say that bullshit, that we don't come from monkeys, but we do come from the goddamn monkeys. Come on. I even saw a video today on an actual scientific channel called Science Channel. It was like Scientific Institute of America or the Science Channel or something like that. And he had this 70-year-old scientist up there with his fancy board and the lines of the animals. And he's trying to tell us that we don't come from the monkeys when we do. Because he's saying, we actually have... We share ancestors with the chimps 6 million years ago. And those ancestors turned into chimps, and the other ones turned into us. So therefore, the ancestors 6 million years ago ain't no chimp. But that's just not true. It's called ecology. We come from fish. We do. We evolved out of fish. We come from fish. That's what science says. That's why we have this thing called and there's some really interesting things they can prove it. There's this thing called the phalangeal nerve. I think it's called the phalangeal nerve. And it's what connects your brain to your heart and then back to your brain. But it doesn't have to go from your brain to your heart to your brain. It only has to go from your brain to your brain. So then why don't we just have a nerve that goes from brain to brain? If we were engineers, we would just change the engineer of the design. But with evolution, it doesn't work like that. You can't just all of a sudden go, oh yeah, we're going to change the nerve. Evolution is little building blocks building off of each other. And we have the nerve from the brain to the heart to the nerve because when we were fish, our heart was right next to our brain. And then as we evolve slowly, the nerve gets longer, and so now every single, what are they called? Tetrapod. Every single animal with limbs has the nerve, that exact nerve, because we all came from the same thing. Okay, so, but people like to say, if you say that we don't come from monkeys because monkeys are different and they come from something else that we came from, that's like saying we don't come from fish. But we do come from fish. So why would you say we don't come from monkeys if we do come from fish? Fish, and it's because of ecology. Fish live in the water. And there's always been water, and there will always be water, so there will always be fish. We used to be fish, but then we evolved out of fish. Same thing with the monkeys. An animal lives in an environment. Like if you wanted to know what animals lived, you don't even have to find the bones or the fossils. just look at what plants live there, and then you know what animals live there. Like if it's a big forest with big tall trees, jungle trees with big branches, then you know monkeys live there because monkeys live in trees. And so 6 million years ago, the ancestor of the chimpanzee was a chimpanzee. Maybe it looked a little bit different. Maybe because the environment was a little bit different. Maybe there were different species. You had the big ones. But at the end of the day, it was a chimpanzee. You look at it from 6 million years ago, and then you look at a modern chimpanzee, it's the same thing. It's a chimpanzee. It's like a shark. Sharks have been around for hundreds of millions of years, but they don't evolve because they fill an ecological niche. That's what the monkeys do, and that's what we were doing when we were monkeys, when we were shrews, when we were fish. So we do come from monkeys. So that whole thing about we don't come from monkeys, we derive from the same ancestor as the monkey, it complicates things in a very messy way. It confuses people. It's like saying, it's like in a 6 million years from now, you'll have some kind of little alien person who's 4 feet tall and big old head. And they'd be telling each other they came from us because they did. But then there's some other idiot alien who's going to be like, we don't come from them. We come from the same thing that, the same ancestor that lived that long ago. But if us humans still exist, they could say that they evolved out of us. It's kind of like saying the electric Mustang evolved out of the gas Mustang, which evolved out of the diesel, the lead gas Mustang. It's the same thing. So people need to cut that out. We come from the monkeys. It just helps everybody understand it better if you're just honest. And you just can't beat that argument. I think the reason people say that is because of I think it's just some the residual influence from these fundamentalist Christians who refuse to believe science. And we all know how people refuse to believe science with the whole coronavirus thing. People have to be, there's the blessed be ones who get to follow Trump, so then they're never going to get coronavirus. And then there's the bad stoners who they're going to get it even if they stay inside. It doesn't make any sense. You have to be logical. And so that's why I'm doing the video. Stop doing it. We come from the monkeys. And it's important to realize that, because then we're going to know, oh, right, that means we're going somewhere. We're not going to be stuck as humans forever. We're going to evolve into something else. So, and we need to understand that so that we can keep fighting to evolve. Otherwise, because there's too many people in the world who think that the world's been like this forever and everything's been like this forever, and when you're not educated like that, then you think that, oh, maybe if I become a criminal, nobody's thought about becoming a criminal, so then I'll win, and it's like that movie with Ricky Gervais, I think, where nobody knows what lying is, and he figured out that he could lie, and he's the only person in the world who could lie, so he just lied his way through life and became successful because everybody believed him. Kind of reminds me of that. So, yeah, anyways, we come from the monkeys.